Miles, how many times did you get punched in the face for the film?
Over one, less than 100.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
What was it like the first time versus the 100th?
The first time's shocking. Second, not shocking, but first time's like, we'll say a little shocking, and then after that, it's like, okay, now okay. You got yours. I'm gonna give you mine.
Aaron, where were you in your life when this role for Kevin Rooney was presented to you?
I was right here in Los Angeles, and I met Ben, the director, came and saw me and presented this to me. Miles and I had worked together before on a movie called Rabbit Hole, and so I was happy to reunite with him. And I love the story. I love the comeback story. I love the guy that dreams big. I love the family element in this, the sacred bond of trainer-fighter. And I love boxing, so I was very happy to do it.
Katey, did you audition for the role of Louise, Vinny Paz's mom?
I sort of auditioned. Ben approached me and got the script to me, and we had conversation about the part, and we had several conversations, and then it was kind of a mutual decision that I should come in. I said, let me come in and read, and let's make sure it's right. And so we did, and so yes, it didn't really feel like an audition, but I think it was an audition, yes.
Did you happen to see your own self in Vinny Paz's life, in his story?
I did, very much.
What was that?
It's been 12 years since I've made a movie, and in Hollywood, that's a very long time to not work for. And similar to Vinny, there were suggestions that I might not make another movie, in the way that there were suggestions made to him that he might not fight again. Once I sort of realized that parallel, strangely I didn't when the story was pitched to me, but once I got into writing it, realized, oh wait, this is my story, that's when I decided to stay on and direct. Originally it was just a writing assignment.
Were there parts of Vinny Paz's life in terms of his rise and then stalled out for a little bit with the accident that reminded you of anything in your own life or personality?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with Vinny had his family support. Vinny also, his sport was boxing. My sport was baseball. Baseball was something that, I remember even in high school I was doing, as a freshman, I would be the guy going to 2 days with the seniors, where I'd go to high school at 5:30 and run laps and do all that stuff. Like, if I had the talent in baseball, that's something I would have given everything to. I think sports for me, just the discipline and kind of the ethics of the games, it was something that I really associated with.
Can we talk about being in the edit room and cutting back between footage from your film and the real life Vinny Paz? Because you did it so seamlessly that there are parts that you don't know if it's Miles, if it's Vinny.
Love hearing you say that. Yeah, that was not by design. The truth is that we just thought we would use the archival footage for the end credits, but when Miles sort of completed his transformation, he got so close to Vinny, his likeness, the way he sounds, that when we got to the editing room, we said, let's try and cut directly to the archival footage in the middle of the movie, which should take people out of the film, and didn't. And that's a testament to Miles and the preparation work that he did.
Where did you go inside of your own experiences to develop or work on the character of Kevin?
Well, I mean, boxers are, they sacrifice, dedication, discipline. I find that I have that in my own life with my own career. It takes a fighter's mentality to work in this business, and we share that. And then I went to a local trainer here, one of the greatest trainers in the world, Freddie Roach, and I went through Manny Pacquiao and versus Bradley, their training camp. And Freddie taught me everything he knows about being a trainer, whispering in the ear, doing the mitts, giving them water, the chess game that you play. So I got a pretty good education. And then I found, unfortunately, Kevin Rooney is in the hospital with dementia. And so I wasn't able to work with him. But I worked with his son, and I learned as much as I could about him and put it on screen.
How was it for you to play this version of a mother? Because I have to say, at first, I didn't even know it was you. It was so different from other roles I've seen you in.
It was great. I mean, I like to play very different roles. And I had sort of the pictures of her, the picture that was written in the script of her, as well as physical footage I had of her, made it easy to kind of fall into what that would be. And I loved working on the accent. I loved having I like to transform. I like all that.
And I know that from the press notes, I believe it said that Louise didn't drive.
Right.
She was pretty much homebound.
Yes.
Wouldn't smoke in front of Vinny.
Right.
So that must have been very, very different from some of the other mothers that you played. How was it to kind of keep all this stuff internal and then when you're done shooting, kind of go back to you? I mean, it just seemed like it was a lot of constraint.
Right. Well, it's interesting. I think there's a part of me as a mother, because I have 3 children of my own, that is a little bit naturally constrained around wanting to know where my kids are at. So what I know about raising kids is sometimes you have to contain yourself, I mean, for me, so that they can show you who they are. So it wasn't that difficult, really. And actually, in my own life, I'm pretty constrained.
Well, I was going to ask you that. How do you balance
I'm not very
this?
wild.
No? Okay.
No, not at all.
The red wig was just one part
All
of it.
of that
right.
was,
Okay.
no, that's not who I am.
I was wondering how you balance all that because you're a performer, you're a singer, actress, wife, mother. How is this work balance? What's the best recommendation for anyone else in that situation?
Just do what's in front of you. It's gotten easier over the years. I try not to travel too often because I do have a little one also, and it's all good is what I always tell myself. It's all and it all gets done.
Well, I know you did many things in between that
Yeah.
time after Prime.
Yeah.
Did you get an airline?
I got my
You-
pilot's
pilot's
license.
license?
Yeah,
You became a chef?
not an ATP. I can't fly passengers, but I can fly myself and friends. I mean, I can't. I'm not like an airline pilot or anything.
Right,
Yeah, I'm a
right.
private pilot.
But do you feel that was in some ways beneficial for you because, or maybe not, you were able to stand back and reevaluate things and now look what you've created, and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, totally. I know people that have left New York and come to LA to be screenwriters, and they do lose a little something. There is something to be said for getting out and living in the world, being a part of the world, and having experiences, interpersonal, communications between new people, and then that ends up finding its way on screen. Even though I thought, oh no, all my contemporaries are moving ahead, they're making all these movies while I'm not. I'm enjoying life, but am I going to suffer professionally? But somehow it all ended up on screen.
You said that you want to be part of films that affect people. How do you feel that Vinny Paz's story will affect viewers?
Oh, well, I think it's the greatest comeback in sports, but, you could even get rid of the word sports. It's just an incredible comeback. He's a guy who faced really, impossible odds and is the first person to ever do that. And I just think that it's it's an inspiring story that's going to, if people want to, they can take what he did and connect it to their own life. And if they're feeling tired or they're feeling like they can't do it and, oh man, it's just so hard. Well, look at what he did. Like, how hard is that? And he still did it. So, what are you going to complain about?
Well, I know you've talked before, I believe, about dark and light characters and how often the audience relates more to the dark character because maybe they feel more comfortable.
Well, I think people, we're all riddled by fear and doubt and insecurity, and we all have dreams. We talk ourselves out of those dreams. That's what life's about, adversity and those usually, people can obviously relate to those characters. They're complex, but they're also more entertaining, because they're struggling. And we like to, this is a comeback story. So we like to see people who have been on the top and have fallen down, fallen from grace, and then picking themselves back up. I always say, there's no such thing as second chances. You get as many chances as you want in this world. It's how you present yourself to the world that gives you the second chance. You can continually reinvent yourself, but you've got to do it. And this is a story about 2 guys and a whole family who pick themselves off the mat and reinvent themselves. It's about a guy who gets in a car accident, breaks his neck, and becomes middleweight champion of the world afterwards, and it's never been done before. So there's a lot of, good, thematics going on in this movie.
Right. How do you think people relate to Kevin's character?
I think they'll love him. I think that he's a free spirit. He loves his fighter. You can see that they have a great love for each other. He has his demons. He's fighting his demons. He's living vicariously through Vinny. He's a colorful guy. I think they'll like him a lot. He's pretty funny.
Excellent.
All
Excellent
right.
transformation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally didn't recognize you. So.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think that's the elephant in the room in the industry is that people do have long, I wouldn't say dry spells, but just for lack of a better word, and then something fantastic happens. So for you, what advice would you have to other people who still want to be in the industry? I think you looked at scripts, right? You kept yourself active in terms of keeping a foot in.
Well, I kept writing. I didn't read. But I always wrote, so I would do script rewrites, script doctoring. I sold a bunch of pilots. That's how I largely paid my bills. So my advice would be similarly to not stop writing. If you're just a director, I have empathy because you're selling a skill set. That's not quantifiable. But if you write a screenplay and somebody wants it, you have leverage. You own something, a piece of property. So I would say if you're a writer, just keep writing.
Can we talk about striving for greatness and the isolation? I know you've talked about you enjoying Kobe Bryant's documentary, I believe. And you've been. Yeah,
that's what I was going to talk. Yeah, that's what I was going to relate to Kobe, and in his documentary, he talked about that. Like, if you really want to be great at something, maybe you can't be the best friend or the best brother or the best son or the best, whatever. Like, it's that quest for greatness. It's going to be a selfish journey. But if you only get one chance at this life. So if you really want to give everything to something, then it's going to be, it is going to be an isolated journey, and you just have to be comfortable with. Other areas of your life being sacrificed for that.
Mm-hmm. How are you dealing with that these days? Because so many things are coming your way—opportunities, notoriety.
Well, I have good balance. I have I have a good family. I have great friends that I've known since I was like 14, 15. I don't have to worry about, is this guy gonna screw me over or whatever. It's like, no, I've known these guys more than half my life. I've got a great professional team of people around me. I've got a good girl. Like, it's all I don't know. I got enough things to kind of still make me feel like myself.
Excellent. Thank
you.
you. And lastly, maintaining in an industry that phases people out, and you've been able to thrive.
I know, wild, right?
Thoughts on that?
Super grateful. I just feel blessed about it, that I continue to work and that jobs come my way, and different and interesting kind of jobs. I feel like it keeps getting, I don't ascribe to the fact that we as women, as we get older, should be sort of disappearing. And so far, I've been able to stay, viable. So, and I maybe it's sort of like Vinny Paz. I refuse to believe otherwise. Vinny Paz believed that he would box again. I just believe I'll keep working.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.